Well, Carol's always smiling, whatever happens. Morning.
Good morning, both. There was some sunshine around this weekend as well, particularly so in Saturday and in northern areas on Friday as well. But as we start the new working week, it's looking unsettled. There's more wet and windy weather coming our way today. As a result, it's going to feel cool. And then when we head into Thursday and Friday, it looks like something drier will come our way, with the showers largely being confined to the northwest. Now, we do have quite a lot of showers around at the moment. There's a lot of cloud too, and we've got rain ensconced across northern England, central and southern Scotland and Northern Ireland. Currently, we've got some rain across eastern Scotland too. Through the course of the day, further showers will develop from Merseyside, Cheshire, the North Midlands and in towards the Wash. But the driest conditions through the day will be in the far north of Scotland. As we come further south through central and southern Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England, we've got the rain. And down this east coast, we've got an onshore breeze accentuating the cool feel. The showers I mentioned, stretching from Merseyside through the Midlands towards North Norfolk and Lincolnshire, could be heavy with a rumble of thunder in them. And then as we come south, some drier conditions, some bright spells, still some showers across Wales, and the wind continuing to strengthen through the course of the afternoon. In fact, through the afternoon and evening period, we are looking at particularly gusty winds. Gusty along the coastline especially, and including the English Channel coastline, but inland we're looking at gusts 40, maybe 45 miles an hour. So something to consider if you're planning on putting up a tent, or you're towing a caravan, or in a high-sided vehicle or a light vehicle. Do bear that in mind. Now, it's going to be windy as we go through the night across southern areas. We still will have all this rain across the central swathe of the UK. In the north, it will be that bit drier, and the wind will start to veer to more of a northerly in the north, so that's a cooler direction. So we start tomorrow, once again, on a wet note. Wet across Northern Ireland, central and southern Scotland and northern England, courtesy of this weather front. Low pressure is driving our weather at the moment, and although it moves away, you can see the tail end of the front still with us, and still pretty blustery. Now, as I mentioned, the wind's veering in the north to more of a northerly, so that's a cooler direction. We've got the rain. Ahead of that, we've got some brighter skies, but still you'll notice the wind tomorrow taking the edge of those temperatures. We're looking at highs up to 21 Celsius. And if that's all making you feel you want something warmer, perhaps you're heading off to the Mediterranean on your holidays. These are the kind of temperatures that will greet you. Easily the mid-30s, for some the high 30s. Faro in Portugal up to 39 today, 32 in the Canary Islands, and high pressures in charge here. So there will be a lot of settled conditions, but you're likely to see some thunderstorms, for example, across the Alps. And here too at times it is going to be pretty windy, Billy and Lou.
Is that meant to make us feel better?
Well, somebody might be sitting at home thinking, I'm off to the Mediterranean today, I wonder what it's like. Well, there it is.
All right. Well, if you are, be back in time for tomorrow's programme.
True.
Right.
Thank you very much, Carol. She does anything to try and cheer us up.
It's just depressing showing us that map, isn't it?
Oh, dear. Falling oil prices are creating mixed news for business. Steph's got details on that.
Yeah, morning to you both. Our oil price often has an effect, which is interesting in terms of good and being. It's good news for some, bad news for others. That's the same this morning. Morning, everyone. Yeah, the price of oil has more than halved in the past year. It did stabilise in March, but recently it's come under renewed pressure. Because of this, 46 big oil and gas projects worth more than £130 billion have been postponed. And this is as the energy companies in charge of them decide whether they're worth it or not. Now, the oil price drop has been good news, however, for the airlines. Ryanair says it's been able to cut prices because of the savings made on fuel. The budget airline says profits are up in the 3 months to the end of July, but the firm has had to ban alcohol on its flights to Ibiza because of unruly customers. The boss told me this morning that there are no plans to do this on any other flights at the moment, so it's just those Ibiza ones. And another bit of news which has just come out this morning about Alton Towers. It said the accident on one of its roller coasters in June has had a big hit on the company's finances. Merlin Entertainment, which owns several theme parks in the UK, says it expects profits to be between £40 million and £50 million. That's almost half of what it made over the same summer trading period last year. So Alton Towers, not great news from them this morning.
OK, Steph, thank you. Thanks.
22 minutes past 8. Bobby Christina Brown, the daughter of the singers Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, has died.
The 22-year-old passed away at a hospice surrounded by her family 6 months after being found unconscious in the bath at her home.
Well, the Hollywood journalist Jeannie Wolf's been following the story for us from Los Angeles. Morning, Jeannie. And tragedy striking Whitney Houston's family once again.
Yes, tragedy, and the news as it spreads, you're getting expressions of, well, at least Bobby Christina is at peace, she's in a better place. And then people rewind to memories of the same thing happening to her mother, Whitney Houston, and how sad it is, at least in my mind, that this little girl never had a chance. She witnessed a lot of arguing, a lot of abuse in her parents' marriage. She witnessed a lot of drug usage, and rather than it be a cautionary tale and her moving on to a different life, she followed in that pattern and came to a very, very sad end.
Yeah. You knew her and you knew Whitney as well?
Yes, I have memories of sitting in their living room with Bobby and Whitney in one place and Bobby Christina across the room playing with her toys. Of course, Bobby Christina followed her mother wherever she went with her to openings, and really had some aspirations of her own of being an actress and a singer. But let's face it, she could never be the most beautiful creature on the planet the way her mother was, and her mother had a voice that was extraordinary. I spent time with Whitney, and certainly she could show up late and be, undependable. But when she performed, there was nothing like her. And I think her daughter knew it. But her daughter really never had a normal life. Yeah. And, yeah.
And the incident which led to her death actually took place some time ago, didn't it?
About 6 months ago, she was found, as you pointed out, in a bathtub. What a horrible repeat of a family tragedy. And from the moment she arrived at the hospital, it was clear that she wasn't going to regain consciousness. But her family did everything. Medical helpers did everything they could to revive her. And it just wasn't going to be. And now I think we're in for first some grieving, and then some pretty ugly looking into what happened, looking into the man who called himself her husband and she called him her husband, Nick Gordon, and